Today, we're going into a critical issue affecting billions: why schools are failing and what's behind the breakdown of our education system. We'll explore systemic problems, funding issues, outdated practices, and more. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of the challenges facing our schools and what can be done to fix them, leaving many students disengaged and underprepared for the modern world. But how did we get here? At the core of the issue is a fundamental clash between traditional and modern pedagogy. Traditional education emphasizes rote learning. Students memorize facts and figures, often without understanding their real-world application. On the other hand, modern teaching strategies, like project-based learning, focus on critical thinking and problem-solving, preparing students for dynamic, technology-driven careers. For instance, while rote memorization has its place, project-based learning immerses students in hands-on experiences, enhancing creativity and collaboration, skills vital in today's workforce. Another outdated method still prevalent in schools is the heavy reliance on standardized testing, designed to evaluate large groups of students uniformly, but they often fail to measure deeper understanding or creativity. Instead, they encourage teaching to the test, which limits genuine learning. The pressure to score well on these tests can stifle curiosity and motivation. While modern assessments, like presentations and portfolios, allow students to showcase their learning in meaningful ways. Outdated practices don't just hinder individual students, they can also affect a country's ability to compete globally. Schools stuck in the past struggle to equip students with the skills they need to thrive in the 21st century, resulting in lower educational outcomes. Creativity and collaboration are leading the way, ensuring their students are prepared for a rapidly changing world. It's time to rethink education. By replacing outdated practices with innovative methods, we can empower the next generation to not only succeed, but to lead in the future. Funding and resource allocation are at the heart of the issue. While some schools thrive with the latest technology and state-of-the-art facilities, others struggle to meet even basic needs. But how can this be happening in the same system? The answer lies in funding inequality. In affluent areas, schools are supported by higher property taxes, ensuring more money for better facilities, materials, and staff. However, in lower-income neighborhoods, the lack of local tax revenue means underfunded schools, creating a cycle of educational disadvantage. Students in these underfunded schools often face larger class sizes, outdated textbooks, and deteriorating facilities. This disparity limits their opportunities, making it harder to succeed academically. The lack of adequate funding has a direct impact on resources, extracurricular programs, or even enough basic supplies like textbooks and lab equipment. Meanwhile, wealthier schools provide students with cutting-edge technology and personalized support, setting them up for greater success. Teacher salaries are another area where the funding gap shows. Underpaid teachers in low-income schools are overworked and undervalued, leading to high turnover rates. In contrast, well-funded schools attract and retain experienced educators who can make a significant difference in student outcomes. The consequences of poor resource allocation are far-reaching. Students in underfunded schools are more likely to struggle academically, have lower graduation rates, and face fewer opportunities for higher education. Well-funded schools enjoy an environment conducive to learning, with access to advanced courses, extracurricular activities, and college counseling. This unequal distribution of resources perpetuates a system where only the privileged can fully benefit from education, while disadvantaged students are left behind. For a deeper understanding of this issue, I highly recommend Savage Inequalities by Jonathan Kozol, which sheds light on the stark contrasts between America's schools. You can also explore reports from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities for the latest data on school funding disparities. That's exactly what happens when school curricula fail to keep up with the pace of modern advancements. Outdated curricula are one of the key factors behind the educational decline we're witnessing today. In today's rapidly changing world, the skills required in the job market are vastly different from even a decade ago. However, many schools still rely on outdated curricula that don't reflect the demands of today's careers. Instead of equipping students with skills like coding, digital literacy, or data analysis, they're learning outdated concepts that won't help them compete in a globalized, tech-driven job market. The lack of relevant curriculum fails to bridge the gap between education and the real-world workforce, leaving students unprepared for their futures. Another major issue is the lack of diversity in subjects. Math, science, and literature remain important. Many schools neglect newer, equally crucial areas. Critical thinking, problem solving, and STEM subjects are often underrepresented, while subjects like technology, coding, and entrepreneurship are almost non-existent in many curricula. Without these essential subjects, students miss out on learning the skills they need to navigate complex problems and think creatively. The education system's failure to adapt to the times contributes to a generation that may be ill-equipped to face the challenges of the future. The consequences of outdated curricula are far-reaching. Air and renewable energy grow, the skills gap continues to widen. Students who aren't learning the necessary skills during their school years find themselves struggling to keep up with the demands of higher education and the workplace. As a result, these students are at a distinct disadvantage, with limited career options and fewer opportunities for upward mobility. Critical professions in shaping future generations, yet many teachers struggle due to inadequate training and lack of support. Without the right resources, how can we expect them to inspire and educate effectively? A major issue is the lack of effective, ongoing professional development. Many teachers receive little more than surface-level training before stepping into the classroom, and once there, the opportunities for further growth are minimal. Instead of learning innovative teaching methods or staying updated with the latest research, teachers are often given outdated or irrelevant professional development. This lack of investment not only affects the quality of education students receive but also leaves teachers feeling unprepared to meet the challenges of modern classrooms. In contrast, countries with high-performing education systems prioritize continuous, hands-on training, equipping teachers with tools to adapt and grow throughout their careers. For teachers. New teachers, in particular, are often thrown into the deep end without proper mentorship. Without experienced guidance, many struggle to navigate classroom management, lesson planning, and student engagement. Additionally, many teachers face a lack of administrative and resource support. Whether it's insufficient classroom materials or the pressure of managing large class sizes without adequate help, these challenges contribute to burnout and high turnover rates. Teachers who feel unsupported are more likely to leave the profession altogether, exacerbating the teacher shortage crisis. However, schools with strong mentorship programs, resource availability, and administrative support create an environment where teachers can thrive. These schools retain staff longer and provide higher quality education to students. The consequences of failing to invest in teacher training and support are severe. To meet student needs, which directly impacts student outcomes. Inadequately supported teachers often leave the profession early, contributing to a growing teacher shortage and leaving schools scrambling to fill positions. When teachers are given the right tools, training, and support, they're not only more effective in the classroom, but also more satisfied with their jobs. This leads to better retention, a more stable learning environment, and improved student success. Inside the classroom, the policies and administrative systems behind the scenes play a crucial role in determining education quality. Inefficiencies and outdated practices can have a profound impact on our schools. One of the major issues is bureaucratic obstacles. Administrative red tape often slows down or complicates essential processes like funding allocation, hiring, and program implementation. Instead of focusing on educational improvements, administrators are bogged down by layers of paperwork and approval processes. This inefficiency can delay important decisions and prevent timely responses to emerging needs. As a result, Valuable resources and time are diverted away from student-focused activities, impacting overall school performance and student outcomes. Policy gaps also play a significant role. Many education policies are outdated or ineffective, failing to address current educational challenges or incorporate modern teaching methods. Decades ago may not account for today's technological advancements or the need for diverse, inclusive curriculums. This disconnect can stifle innovation and limit the ability of schools to adapt to new educational demands. When policies do not keep pace with educational needs, schools are left struggling with outdated resources and methods, which ultimately affects student learning and achievement. The consequences of these challenges are far-reaching. Schools with bureaucratic inefficiencies and outdated policies often face lower performance ratings, reduced funding, and overall decline in education quality. Conversely, schools that can navigate or reform these challenges effectively often see improvements in student outcomes, higher staff satisfaction, and better overall performance. Outdated curricula, inadequate teacher support, and policy inefficiencies don't just affect school operations, they have a profound impact on students and their learning outcomes. One of the most visible effects is the decline in student performance. We're seeing lower test scores, decreased graduation rates, and reduced college readiness. For many students, the gap between the skills they're learning and the skills required for higher education or the job market continues to widen. These trends are troubling, as they indicate that students are not being adequately prepared for the challenges of higher education and the workforce. The outdated curricula and lack of support contribute directly to these declining outcomes. Beyond academics, these issues have significant social and emotional effects on students. Many experience diminished morale, lower engagement, and increased stress. Adequate resources and support can take a toll on mental health. When students lack access to the necessary support systems, such as counseling and extracurricular activities, their overall well-being suffers. This not only affects their academic performance, but also their ability to engage meaningfully in school life. According to articles from the American Psychological Association, students facing these challenges are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and burnout, further compounding their difficulties. The long-term consequences of these issues are severe. Students who don't receive the support and quality education they need are more likely to struggle with higher education and employment opportunities. But also has broader implications for society, including economic disparities and social inequality. On the other hand, when students receive a well-rounded education and adequate support, they are better equipped to succeed academically and professionally, contributing positively to their communities and the economy. There are actionable solutions that can make a real difference. Let's explore how we can address these issues to improve the quality of education for all students. First, we need comprehensive policy reforms. This includes revisiting funding models to ensure equitable distribution of resources. Schools in underfunded areas should receive targeted support to level the playing field. Updating curricula to reflect modern knowledge and skills is crucial. Implementing innovative teaching methods and integrating technology will prepare students for the future job market. Additionally, investing in ongoing professional development for teachers will equip them with the tools they need to succeed. Policy reforms should also focus on reducing bureaucratic red tape to streamline administrative processes, allowing schools to respond more swiftly to their needs. In educational reform, schools should encourage active participation from families and local communities to support students and advocate for their needs. Partnerships with local businesses and organizations can provide additional resources, mentorship opportunities, and real-world experiences for students. Engaged communities can help drive positive changes and create supportive learning environments. Fostering a collaborative approach ensures that reforms are practical and reflect the needs of the community, leading to more sustainable and effective educational improvements. Let's recap the key issues we've discussed today: outdated curricula, inadequate teacher support, policy and administrative challenges. and their direct impact on students. We've seen how outdated curricula and insufficient teacher training contribute to declining student performance and morale. We've also explored how bureaucratic inefficiencies and policy gaps hinder progress, affecting overall education quality. Addressing these issues is crucial for improving education outcomes and ensuring that every student has the opportunity to succeed. By implementing policy reforms, enhancing teacher support, and fostering community involvement, we can make a significant difference. What are your thoughts on the current state of our education system? Share your opinions and experiences in the comments below. Your feedback is vital in driving meaningful discussions and solutions. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos.